What is up? We're here. Now you're thinking, why are we all dressed nicely? Well, it's the playoff draft. It's the first ever six-man playoff draft. It's been a hell of a journey, and we've made it here. We've made it to the games that truly matter. Are the Orlando Magic here? No. Are the Cleveland Cavaliers here? No, they're not. Are the Minnesota, in fact, is all of Bray's teams here? No. They're all gone. Bye-bye. They're gone. Good riddance. And we are happy to be here. Before we talk about intros, I just want to start off with saying that what an incredible week of basketball it has been. In terms of like playing games and the seedings and stuff. I just want to give a massive shout out to the individuals who are in the Hall of Fame. Exceptional class with standouts, Kobe, Timmy, KG. Great speeches, all of them. Make sure you go check them out. And then obviously you've got the next class coming in. Shout out to The Truth, Jay Wild's own. Paul Pierce has made it. Chris Bosch, Bray's equivalent on the court, one of his equivalents. You've got Ben Wallace, and then you've got C-Web making it. Great moment with him and Jalen. We love that. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, guys, is Kyrie Irving, 9th player ever to join the 50-40-90 club. And I just want to ask you guys, does anybody know who else is on that list?
Steve Nash?
Yep.
Steve Kerr?
No, but Steve Nash has done it 4 times.
Dirk Nowitzki?
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki is on that.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is on that.
Larry Bird.
Correct.
Dirk's on it.
We already had that, Ed. But yeah, Dirk is on there.
I swear Kerr's on there.
Shall I round up the list, yeah?
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon, Mark Price, and the boy Wildy. Don't forget about Reggie. Reggie's on that list.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Reggie is on that list. Okay, cool. But what are we here to talk about? We are here to talk about the playoff draft. Now, if anybody is unfamiliar with what the sixth man does, at the start of the season, beside myself, all the other 5 GMs were set in order and they picked a team from each division. How they rank is how many wins and losses they had accumulated between those 6 squads. So before we go into the leaderboard, let's welcome the GMs. We've got the one and only Albanian analyst repping everything blue and teal. We have House Lasky. We have the owner of both super teams, the true trailblazer. We've got House of A3. We've got Ludor's #1 fan, and he's hoping for a Corey with Joseph revenge tour. It's all aboard the Parancers Express. Keeping all doors closed since '97, a kiss from a rose, Lancashire Lambit. And finally, seasons with wild views, opinions, and odd rages, we've got Salt Grey. And I'm your 6th man. Right, let's head to the leaderboard. Final standings. So I'm going to go from top to bottom, because in this draft, it will be 1 through to 6, and that will be replicated until we have drafted all 20 teams. Okay, so we know who is in first seed. It's been locked up for quite a while. It is House Lasky coming in at a 55% winning percentage. That is his best team throughout the season was the Utah Jazz, one of the best picks in the draft, and his worst team is his own Orlando Magic. Now this is where it gets difficult and very tight, because there was 1 game separating on the last day. But I can confirm that Jord has held on to that 2nd spot since the start of the season. House of O3 will be drafting 2nd at a percentage of 52%. Jord, your best team was the Brooklyn Nets, the super team, the 4th team picked in the Atlantic Avalanche. And your worst team was the Chicago Bulls, who have not made the playoffs.
Next year.
It's always
funny how the only person right about that where he came. But
yeah, well, we don't need to talk about the Bulls anymore. They're not here. So just behind him, the Parancers Express.
All right.
with also a 52%, but you had 2 losses more and 2 fewer wins than Jord, 225 and 207. Your best team was the Phoenix Suns, another amazing draft pick. They've had an incredible season. And your worst team are Detroit.
Yeah.
Now, we've got the top 3 wrapped up. We've got 2 GMs left. This was also booked in for quite a while. It has been a good season for the man who hasn't been watching NBA as much as all of us have, but he has definitely showed up in a big way. Langston Lambeer coming in at the 4th pick, 47% respectable, almost very close to 48. In fact, a reversal of Wildy's record, which is quite interesting. Your best team, the Denver Nuggets, with the future MVP, I think, Nikola Jokic. And your worst team are the Cavs. Dull, boring, and that we won't be speaking about them anymore, so don't worry. Now, in the 6th man, we had a proposal. Bray was doing awfully, so I thought, why don't I try and bump myself up? Let's see if he finishes below the 400 mark. I'm going to jump up to that 5th draft spot. That hasn't happened because Bray has got 41%. He's coming in at 181 to 251 losses. Bray's worst team, the Rockets, with James Harden. He got out of there quick, didn't tell Bray. And his best team are the Miami Heat, which he's completely biased about. And that finally puts me, the 6th man, in the 6th spot. That order will stay the same throughout the draft. The final 2 picks will be selected by House Laskew and House of 03 for good merit in their top 2 records. I think that's everything sorted, guys. How are my GMs feeling before we get into this?
Feeling great.
Does anyone have any trade offers for the number 1 pick? Does anyone want to sacrifice a 2nd or a 3rd rounder? Just checking the waters.
He doesn't want the pressure. He doesn't want us to take the piss.
I mean, I know I'm going to take, but it doesn't feel like it. Last year and years before, it always felt that there was a number 1 contender that you felt it's surefire. This year, you feel there's questions in both divisions and the top side of both divisions. But
this year, the number 1 contenders in a damn playoff tournament, a playing tournament.
if they don't, oh my gosh, if they don't fucking make it, how? Oh my gosh.
Well. Let's save this because I'm gonna put you, Mr. Edison Laskew, on the clock.
Okay.
There you go. So the first pick in the first round is with House Laskew. I'm not going to time you or whatever. I'm sure you're thinking about this for quite a while. Yes, Ed, the ball is in your court, man.
So
Wow.
before I say anything, I'd like to thank the Orlando Magic, the Utah Jazz, the LA Clippers, who else did I have?
You got his team.
Milwaukee Bucks.
You forgot the team.
Milwaukee Bucks, San Antonio Spurs, and I forgot who my last one in the East was, but it doesn't matter because I'm the only guy with 5 teams in the playoffs. The only team that didn't make the playoffs was my Magic, and we spoke about this, how we had an internal meeting and we allowed the Magic to tank so the others could succeed. So it's fine. Now,
you forgot the Knicks.
It was the
Are you
damn
joking
Knicks.
me?
I'm trying to make sure everyone forgets about them.
You've done nothing but ride
My
Nick's
goodness.
success all season. You forget and the playoff.
goodness.
It's okay.
Well,
I should. We should be quiet. It is Ed's fault. Go on.
Thank you. With that, the number 1 pick in the 2021 6-man draft, House Lashley selects the Lakers. Oh fuck, you probably got it the right way around.
Yeah, we can see that. We got that.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, as we mentioned, they are in the play-in tournament. However, I just feel that this is, with a lot of uncertainty, I just feel I've got the most certainty with this. If I weren't to have picked the Lakers and they would have won it, I would have been more annoyed with myself than if I was to say pick someone else, and I won't say any names, just for, if I was to pick other teams. I trust their defense and I trust their size. Those were the 2 key components I feel going into the playoffs that I trust the most. Of course, there are health issues and how LeBron, AD, and Drummond will all play together at the same time. It could be a repeat of last year where Drummond may not get as many minutes a la Dwight Howard last year. However, I do like what they can bring. I really like the addition of Dennis Schroeder compared to last year's team. I'm going with the Lakers. If they don't win it, I would have been up. There was a time when I was seriously considering the Nets, and part of my thinking was I just really love what James Harden brings with KD on the court, and as well what Kyrie can provide, but James Harden being that key. And if the Nets won, obviously I would have been happy. But if the Lakers won and I picked the Nets, I love LeBron, so I would have been happy either way. However, I'm taking the Lakers. They're the number one pick. Let's not talk about the play just yet. So let's just avoid all those questions about the play tournament.
Well, yes. Very, very interesting. I'm sure we all got Lakers pretty high on our board. Ed takes the Lakers with the number one pick. A nice little nugget that's happened throughout the show is that Jord has had the Lakers and Ed has been teasing getting the prettier sister, the better looking sister. Is that correct? And we head to House of 03 now with the second pick to get your reaction, Jord, and for your pick, please.
I can't say that I'm surprised. Like, I knew that was coming from all the inklings throughout the seasons, the tidbits, the winks from the corner of his eyes.
I was openly flirting. I was openly with the clippers around my arms. I was openly flirting with the Lakers.
He was purely starstruck and smitten, and now he's got the Lakers. Again, shaky ground is a bit of a gamble. I think we were all in that mindset. So, good luck, Ed, and good luck, Lakers. But for me, onto my pick. Hey, I'm being gentlemanly.
I don't like the niceness, Jordan. I don't like it.
George, would you like the noise, George?
Give me the noise. Bring the noise. With my first pick, House of 03 is gonna pick the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, I decided to stick at home with the Brooklyn Nets. Been my strongest team throughout the season. So yeah, again, super hype. One of the strongest offense in the league this season. Of course, again, like with a lot of teams throughout the league, big concern is with that injuries. Like the starting core of Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Durant, the Thanos gauntlet. They've only played a handful of games together, all at full strength. So we'll keep fingers crossed and see how far they can take us in the postseason. I mean, Steve Nash has done well, and the head coach to do what he can to help that and push that through, and it's worked out. So we'll see what they can bring in the second half of the season.
Thank you, George. We are going to keep this train moving. Speaking of trains, let's jump on the Paravantage Express with the number 3 selection. You were very close to George. You could have surpassed him, but you're in the 3rd spot, and it's your time to shine, Wardy. So
put the sound on there, man.
I got you.
I must say, I was disappointed that I didn't end up getting that second pick. It was a real fun season. But for a time, I was 4th, and then I was flirting with being 2nd. So it was a very exhilarating run for me throughout the whole regular season. However, I'm not that mad that now that I get to pick who I personally would have picked first. If you look at all the teams that are there, if you look at the road that they have, if you want to play the numbers and who they'll take, I know you'll hate me for it, big man, but I have to take Philadelphia. They have the easiest road on the way to the conference finals. Obviously, that's disrespect to my own Hawks, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. I think that those top 2 picks, I can obviously understand it, but if I'm looking at 4 rounds all the way to the ring, it's going to be very difficult with the kind of injuries that you guys are talking about. Like, trust that those guys to do it; they're amazing. But with the pick I have, I want to go for something a little bit more durable. And not only are they the most durable of those first 3 picks, they also, as I say, had the easiest road. Very interesting that the first 3 picks are all in the Eastern Conference. That was to be expected, considering how Lakers. Apologies. Interesting how
the Lakers just moved over. They just moved over.
Yeah, they just moved over. Yeah, sorry. Interesting how out of 2 of the top 3 picks are over in the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference is a lot easier. And yeah, we've been preaching that all season as well. So it's very interesting to me.
I just want to say, hands up who supports the team that's number 1 seed. Nobody
Keep your
here?
hand up if it matters for anything.
Nobody here? Keep your hand if your team is not in the playoffs.
Keep your hand up if you made it in playoffs and fantasy.
Oh, God. It's not real basketball. Anyway, listen. Wildy, great point, man. And I'll tell you why. Because I was worried that the Heat were going to be in that second round matchup. Thank you to the Knicks and the Hawks. They have to play the Bucks and the Nets. So I'm extremely happy, man. And if the Philly don't make the conference finals, expect that team to blow up, because we should. Because I would compare it to England's route to the World Cup. When we who do we play? Croatia in the semi-finals. Easiest route to get to like a really far stage in the competition. Yeah, good pick, Wad.
Absolutely. When we got kicked out, I felt like we still blew it, man. Like, if we were ever going to win it, it felt like that year. So yeah, I love that analogy, man. That's great.
Yeah. Right. 3rd pick is done, in the bag. We are going to head to the man who said he is repping his Lancashire roots with the tie. Matt Tarris, it is time for your first pick in this playoff draft. How are you feeling? Let me know when you are ready for the noise. I'm just going to do it anyway.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, I will say that the first 3 picks have gone in the exact order which I predicted, which should, in theory, make me confident with my 4th pick. However, nerves are creeping in. So, with my first pick and the 4th pick in this playoff draft, I'm going to head west and select the Los Angeles Clippers.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. That is the first curveball. Go on, take me through it.
Reasoning behind that is I've obviously looked at some of the other teams around that level. There's quite a lot of teams. I'm not going to name them because that could compromise future selections. But I've looked at the Clippers. I've looked at their route. I've looked at the other teams who are around them and their route as well. And I believe, and it's heavily dependent on whether the Lakers progress through winning against the Warriors or if they progress through losing against the Warriors. Because if they win against the Warriors, they fall into the bracket where it's the Nuggets and Portland, and then that leaves either one of the Warriors, Grizzlies, or Spurs to face the Jazz, which would be the winner, which would face the winner of the Clippers versus the Mavs. So that has been my reasoning for selecting the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers, obviously, last year, as we all know, massive choke, 3-1 up in that series against Denver, and the team really fell apart. They've obviously had a resurgence. Paul George seems like he's playing with a man on mission. Hopefully, he can continue it in this postseason and knock out the Blazers. Ain't that right, George? No. Okay, right. Let's head to the man who's finished last, who's rock bottom for the whole season. Bray, finally, you are going to actually pick a decent team. Well done.
Well, do we know that?
Through yeah, I can't pick the Rockets. They're not in it. It's fun. Yeah, that is it's very, very poetic that I had the worst record out of all of us in the season, and yet with the 5th pick in our draft, I will be selecting the team with the best record in the NBA. We got the Jazz. Give them to me. I can't believe they've fallen. Actually, I can believe they've fallen. This is exactly how I have my list so far. Matt said it was a surprise pick. I don't think it was a surprise pick. I would have done that too. So big props to everyone. And yeah, probably to not anyone's surprise. Here come the Jazz.
Well. So Utah, like you said, they're the number 1 seed in the West, have the strongest home record in the NBA. A lot of depth, and you've got Donovan Mitchell, who showed up massively in the playoffs. Great series between him and Jamal Murray. So that takes us with a split of 3-2 between West and Eastern teams. And finally, I'm in the game. I get to play the game. It's been a long time. Here we go.
Welcome, Alex. Welcome.
I haven't thought about my selection yet. There's a lot of teams in the fray. However, it is between 2. And I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. That is my pick. Denver Nuggets, as you know, the bench production for them is a massive question mark. However, they are 13-4 without Murray. And Michael Porter Jr., I think, has taken a massive step for them this year as the number 2 punch off the bench. I don't need to talk about the other teams of who I probably could have picked, but I feel like Jokic is the MVP. He can carry that burden, and that's why I'm going to pick them as my number 6 pick. Okay, so that is the end of round 1. So how are we all feeling, first of all, before we move it along? We all good? We settled nice and in? Yeah?
Got all I wanted. Very happy.
Okay, got a lot of happy GMs. So let's move it on to the second round, and we're going to follow the same format. So the ball is back in your court, House Lasku, in round 2, pick 1, 7th pick overall. How are you feeling?
So, Alex, I love Matt's pick of the Clippers because I felt that they were going to drop to me in the second round because of previous results and how, because of what they've accomplished before, how people are going to underrate them and not consider the improvements or things that have gone on this year. So when you were saying there were 2 teams, I also had 2 teams I wanted to pick, but you didn't mention either one of them, which kind of took me back a step. I was like, oh shoot, which one do I take? Now, of those 2 teams, I'm also conscious because of the team I want to pick in the third round, and I don't want to pick everyone in the same division, or I want to have a bit of balance. I want to have a bit of balance. However, I am going to stick with something I've been saying throughout the regular season, and a team that I feel has been a bit underrated and I think has made some improvements that will hopefully help them in the playoffs this year, and that is the Milwaukee Bucks. Part of it is obviously they've got Giannis, who's arguably top 5 players, maybe top 3 players in the NBA right now. We all know his playoff history and what's happened in previous years, and how that can make you think that, especially what else is going on in the East with the Sixers and Nets, how that could potentially be a matchup issue for the Bucks. However, I really like what Drew Holiday can bring, and we know that Coach Bud, his job is on the line. He is coaching now for his NBA career. I doubt he's going to get a better gig than he has right now in Milwaukee. And I just really like what they can bring on the defensive end. And defense is something that I'm going to really look towards in my picks. And yeah, that's what I've gone for the Bucks.
Fair enough. Yeah. So like you said, with the Bucks, Coach Bud, yeah, his job is really on the line. They obviously have got good pieces like Bobby Portis and PJ Tucker who've come in, play specific roles. So we'll see what they can do. I am very excited, and I hope nothing spoils it. But for that second round series of Brooklyn, Milwaukee, that is going to be very tasty indeed. We're going to move on to Jordan.
So Bucks, I was hoping I could get those. So Ed kind of, pushed me off the road a bit there and stole them underneath my seat. But that's fine. That's fine. We move on. That's the draft and that's the game. So for my second pick in the playoff draft, I'm going to believe, guys. I'm going to search Basketball Heart and look to the gods. Okay? Because I believe they have returned, and I am gonna go with what's the faces for?
Tell us, please.
I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks.
Okay.
Oh,
Bro.
there's the
We
first
might have
road
some technical difficulties. I need to do an Ed. Hang on. Okay. Well, that's shape. Well, okay. George,
What?
please explain to me. Please explain to me about the Knicks.
Well, obviously, they've surprised us this season, and they've gone on tremendous run and really made that push throughout the season in the East, and they didn't come up where anyone really predicted, really. So with that, so I'm just gonna keep betting on them with that point. Also, I'm gonna try and play the board a little bit on this one, and basically see where I can come up and recover on the west side later. But we'll see. So yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna go east side and go for the Knicks, man.
Okay, well, yeah, most surprising team this year, and you've surprised us all. Safe to say, on that pick, I was not expecting that, but thank you anyway. Like you said, yeah, the Knicks, really good defensive team, so it's going to be great for half-court basketball when the game slows down. We'll see how they do, and obviously, massive congrats. They got home court advantage, nuts. I know it's a weaker conference, still props. Anyway, we're going to go to Wildy next. In the second round, pick 9 overall, but pick 3 in the second round. Jay Wild, how you feeling? You're a little bit stunned after that. I think we all have flashbang, Call of Duty, bang in there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a stun grenade, and I'm still seeing double, man. But no, that's fine. I was ready for you to pick the team I'm about to pick now. So I was working on the contingency plan, and you left the door open for me, John. So thank you very much. I would say that I like the boisiness of the pick. Hey, if it all works out, man, you'll be the one laughing, like Ed and the Knicks in the regular season. So I am going to be taking Phoenix with my next pick. They are the logical choice for me. I feel the only reason that they have dropped this low in our draft, personally, is because the risk of them playing the Lakers in the first round after the playing games conclude. That's a really bad matchup for them. But obviously, there are a lot of question marks above the Lakers. But the fact it's the second round, if I get to pick the Suns, that's really good value. And the fact that there are question marks about the Lakers means that that could go either way. But fully healthy, I don't necessarily expect them to get out the first round if they have to play Lakers. But I like my chances there, especially with my second pick. I'm very sports happy there.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my concerns. Speaking about Phoenix, that first round matchup with LeBron is a real tough one. I will say this, Wildy, the Suns have the best record with games with teams over 500 at 26-10, and they also have the second best record between the 8 contenders, so to say, at 11-7, and they have the best leader in Chris Paul. So you've got that on your side. I'm hoping that Chris Paul can do well. The Chris Paul experiment, as we all know, is worked out. Shout out, Bray. Yeah, so, okay, we're going to go to another map, and that is Lancashire Lambert. Let's head there now. Live in his living room. Yes. Round 2. Pick number 10. Take it away.
Yeah, this is... I knew Wildy was going to go for the Suns. That was how I'd forecast that. So I was expecting the Suns to go with that pick. So it leaves my ranking again. I've got this team locked in. I'm going to go East, and I'm going to go for the team which, sorry, Bray, I know you love them.
Yeah, he's got him.
I know it.
The NBA Finals last year, going down to the Lakers, they knocked out the Milwaukee Bucks, who they face up in the first round So I'm going to be selecting the Heat of Miami. The Miami
Oh,
Heat.
mate, I love it. Best pick of the draft. Unreal. You've shoved that knife right in his back.
You
Fantastic.
can pinpoint the moment where I broke his heart.
Nearly
I
had
love it.
Nearly had
It's-
it, bro.
I'm so gutted. Words can't describe. I thought they were going to drop to me again. Oh,
Do you know what? Thank God we don't have a postseason. You banging on about the Heat again. Jesus.
it's all right.
We'll try then.
I'll still be on the bandwagon.
He'll be when the Heat game's on. He'll be like, oh, I can jump on. I'll talk about Heat. It's your team. No, we're not recording.
Anytime, baby.
Anyway,
Anytime.
Matt, what else did you want to say about the Heat? Like you said, they made the finals last year. They've got a great culture. Unfortunately, Oladipo was out for the remainder of the season. It seems like maybe even next season. And Bam is one of their only bigs. Yeah, speak about your the Heat in a bit more.
I'd say with the Heat, they started off the season, as Braves alluded to in previous episodes, poorly. They have really picked up of late. And as well, like Jimmy Butler, Bam, you've got players such as Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, Tyler Hero. That core, which got them to the finals last year, is pretty much the same. Obviously, they had a great run, and it's asking a lot for them to repeat that. But to say this is my second pick, and this is what the 9th pick and 10th pick in the draft, I'm pretty happy to get the Heat.
Very good, man. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy Bray has been absolutely robbed. Let's head to Bray now. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Anyway, Bray, pick 11, round 2. It is your time to pick. Unfortunately, it won't be in South Beach.
I would just like to say that it's not just Matt's fault, it's the rest of you, because you're just teasing me, dangling them out there like a little carrot. No one's taken them. They're obviously way higher on my list than they are on everyone else's, and I was like, I can't believe it. Steal of the draft. But here I
Should have
am.
picked them 5 then.
Is that how you feel about regular
Yeah,
season? The way they perform.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that good. I'm willing to admit that. But yeah.
Disclaimer, Heat are number 1 on Bray's board.
I wish.
He rolled the dice in round 1.
I mean,
Sorry, Bray, go on.
I'm regretting it now, but I should have done it. But this has made my decision very difficult. There's a few different ways I could go with this, but I'm going to pick a team who I did not rate until about halfway through this season, and that is Wildy's Atlanta Hawks. I've watched some games, some games with the Hawks. I've watched them destroy my balls, as you've heard me talk about before. And
Hi, Miami.
Jordan's
Miami.
gone, by the way. That impression, he's absolutely gone.
Yeah, I just really like them. They're young, they're frisky, and even better, they're playing the Knicks in the first round. So you'd be hoping they'll be getting a dub there. To be honest, I know MSG is a tough place to play, but the Hawks have got some players.
Yeah, it'd be very chippy, but yeah, we got a lot more offensive weapons than they do for sure.
People would need to be putting some respect on the Knicks name, but I do get what you're saying. In reality, the Hawks, they've got a lot of talent. They should be winning that series. So if they don't, they need to take a long, hard look at themselves. Jeez, it just creeps up, doesn't it? It creeps up because it's me again. You know, I'm doing it all, sound effects and all, trying to steer the conversation, and I'm looking at my big board and I'm like, I don't think this is right at all.
You need a couple minutes just to
rattled.
take it all in.
I mean, do you know what?
As a Philly fan, I know you're used to getting number 1 picks and like early picks in the draft.
All I need someone to do is make sure that they've locked in Bray with the Atlanta Hawks pick. I really like that pick, Bray. I'm a big fan. The Hawks are quite high on my board. Now, my pick I think potentially could be a massive upset. Now, we struggle because there's a lot of reliance on one player. There's a lot of reliance on one player, but I think if there is one player that can do it and can cause an upset, as we saw last year, it's the Dallas Mavericks. And that is who I'm going to pick with my second pick. I think they're in the 5th spot. It's a 4-5 matchup. They've played very good ball, but it all comes down to their supporting cast turning up. But I have no doubt that Luka is going to make it really tough for the Clippers to progress around that. It's going to be a battle in that first round. So yeah, I'm gonna take the mouse with my pick. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We run it back again. We are on to round 3. We are pacing very nicely as we head over to Jacksonville in House Laskew's camp. He seems a couple of swear words. This video is not made for kids. Just all you viewers out there. But it was a silent woohoo. So you're all good. How's Laskew? Yeah, where you at? How you feeling?
It ain't nothing I want more. I told you when I first came here, I didn't come here to waste my time. They gave us a chance to get in like we asked for, and that's what we're here to do. Job still ain't done, but you know what I'm here for. Trailblazers. It's Dame time, baby.
Shout out J. Cole as well. Love that on the album, that little snippet. It's Dame time.
I don't want to say anymore. Jordan, you're up.
Damn. Okay, well, bro, tell the person with the sound effects, Jesus.
That's what you get for taking my Knicks.
As you said. George, yeah, it's I mean, there's a bit of rivalry between the 1 and 2 seed here, bit of tension, but that's what we like. We love that Joakim Noah, that battle, and George, you can fire back here, but you can't fire back because the Orlando Magic aren't in the playoffs. Dear oh dear.
I'm just glad I picked the team. I'm just glad I picked a team that's definitely going to be in the West playoffs because we still don't know what's happening with the Lakers. So I'm glad at least I've got one team that's definitely in the playoffs in the West.
All right, cool. So, George, how you feeling? This is your penultimate pick. You've obviously got one right at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to comment on Ed's pick. Yeah, I would have taken Blazers with my next pick. Of course, for me, that I always worry when it comes to the playoffs with the Blazers, especially when we go up against the Nuggets, because it seems like season after season, that is definitely a tough matchup for us. Like, it's a battle on both sides. So that I mean, I credit Ed for that decision. Again, shaky ground with the Nuggets position and everything. But yeah, I'll still be rooting for you Blazers, man. The true fan is over here. Let's remember that. But yeah, so, he keeps throwing me off, I tell you that. Gonna have to look at my board.
It's in your head. Don't let him get in your head, George.
I am going to I think I'm going to have to go out west. I am. And I'm going to go for the Warriors.
Yeah.
With my
Love that pick.
Yeah.
Love that pick.
Yeah, Steph, of course, at the beginning of the season, we were looking at that team and people were making jokes saying, you know, Steph needs help. Let's see him do it out, no help. And I think he pulled it out and shut everyone up and showed us to respect his name and remember who we're talking about. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him on that player front. Of course, a Bron and Steph matchup, which is going to be an exciting series to watch. So I'm really looking forward to that. Also, reasoning going up behind that as well is because also out west, you got Memphis and Spurs. Now, the winners of that are then going up against the Jazz, which I think out of all of them and the decisions there, it might have been a super tough matchup going that way, as opposed to the other route round. So that's why I decided to go that one.
Yeah, man. Steph Curry, right? This guy gets double team, triple team all year. He still led the league in scoring. I know we're a Steph love podcast, but that is absolutely ridiculous. And if you look at the roster the Warriors have, yeah, the guys play hard, but there's a bunch of people who really can't create their own shot. They rely on Steph a lot. I love that pick, Jord. I definitely could see them causing an upset. And I tell you what, Jord, if they beat the Lakers and they play the Suns in that first round matchup, I think the Suns Warriors is going to be a very interesting series.
Yeah.
So exciting for that. And the regular season has shown that the Suns and the Warriors have had very good, close games. And also Chris Paul and Steph Curry, that matchup, he's going to be shimmying again. Yeah.
The experiment, as it's come to be known on the pod.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, thank you, George, for your pick. Round 3, Jay Wild, your last pick in this draft. Take it away, my man.
Absolutely. Love that last pick too. Just want to say hats off, but I'm going to be keeping it with the theme of the whole point guard love. People were doubted a lot. And where we're going is we're going to Washington. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, been doing fantastic work. I would have had Golden State. I would have had them. George got them ahead of me. I love it. Washington would be my next one logically after that. I think that Boston have had a really tough season. They've been well accounted by Bray. And, I think that Washington will win that playing. And that's going to be the best thing in terms of entertainment, because then you get Russell Westbrook going up against KD and the Brooklyn Nets, which is going to be fantastic to watch. I'd love to see that series. I still feel like Brooklyn are obviously going to win that. We got to the point now where we're talking about playing teams. But if you remember that first game, Washington against Brooklyn was unbelievable. It was one of the best games of the season. It feels like so long ago now. But, Russ gives a crap every game. But think about how jacked up he's going to be for every single one of these games for him to prove himself once more. So he's really going to give them some, he's going to make them work for it. Let's put it that way. With the runner-up scoring champion as well, and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, definitely. All-time leader in triple doubles, league's second highest scorer. Tough first round matchup for anyone. For me personally, they were the highest ranked in my bracket of the East playing teams. Without a shadow of a doubt. That's just for me personally. So,
just shows, Alex, you've only selected West teams.
Fall to me, the sixth slot is, not everyone has the first pick and has it really easy. Some people have to wait until it drops down. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Go on, Wildy.
I was just going to say, it makes sense he had to pick West teams, because the reason why the teams in the East, the better ones, go quicker. And then you all just kind of have to fan out into the West because it drops off so much quicker in the East. So it makes sense.
Thank you, my personal assistant, Jay Wild. We're going to head to, thank you. The money will be in the post. Anyway, we're going to head to
Around the Bucks.
Matt for his last pick in the draft. Yeah. How have you enjoyed this experience?
I was hoping that the Wizards would fall to me, so that, like Ed, I could drop a J. Cole lyric and walk up out the booth, do the Westbrook Rocker Baby.
Oh, I love it.
Now, there is actually one other J. Cole lyric of a team that is still in this draft. But I'm not going to go there.
You teased us.
No, I won't say it. I won't say it.
Oh, bro, he teases so much that the name even got dropped in the doc. Pump faked the hell out of him. All right, cool. Go for
it. So with my third and final pick, having considered the teams which are in that playing tournament, I also had the Wizards had the strongest. I believe these are the second strongest. This is obviously after the Lakers and the Warriors out of the teams remaining. I'm going to select the Boston Celtics.
Good. Boston Celtics, massive blow with Jaylen Brown injury. They do a lot of ISO scoring. If anybody can carry, I think Jason Tatum is a good bet. And then you've obviously got Brad Stevens. He's a good coach. Kemba has never really been healthy, but when he does turn up, he does show up in a big way. So yeah, that's good. Okay. Great. Your final pick, please.
Yeah. So in my opinion, that last one was a little bit rogue. I had this team below two other options, both currently sat in the ninth spot in their respective conferences. But on the basis that one of these teams faces a much easier road in the play-in tournament, which will be happening this week, I'm going to be selecting my own Indiana Pacers. I think it's much more realistic out of the teams that are left that they actually make it into the play-in tournament over the pick that has just come, in my opinion. So that's where I'm going with that, and yeah, give me the Indiana Pacers.
Are you salty that I picked the Celtics?
No, I'm not salty. I genuinely I have the Pacers above the Celtics in my power rankings. I'm actually quite happy about it.
I think
Wow.
I'm so proud of this one.
I'm with Matt on
Indiana
this
thing.
one. I've got Boston.
We will see.
Indiana
We're going to find out
Pacers.
this week. It's not going to be long before we're in the realm where we ain't going to be seeing some of these teams for a while.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Time for my final pick. 3 teams remaining. That's throwing a spanner in the works, Mr. Bray. I'm not going to lie. That's throwing a massive spanner in the works. Simply because the West is more difficult than the East, I am going to pick Jord. It's time, baby. It's LaMelo time. I'm going with the Charlotte Hornets. If any team can cause a little upset in the playoffs, it's Buzz City, baby. It's buzz on the bees, baby.
I support. You chose wisely, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, that's me pretty much done on that case. We can move it along quickly. We go to Ed for.
I want you to hold up, because the best thing about this is if this pick comes off, you're going to have to root against the Sixers.
Yes, that's correct. But
that's how confident he is that the Sixers will destroy them.
Yeah. Also, first of all, right, I've got 3 teams to choose from. Okay, let's be real here. I mean, whatever way you look at it, come on, man. Anyway, look, the Hornets, I think they're a feel-good squad. Yeah, Hayward could miss the play-in, but Bridges is back, so they've got that. I don't think they have enough as much experience as the Wizards or the Celtics when it comes to playing games, but I think that they pushed the Wizards close last night in that game, so I think they could cause some noise. So yeah, all right, let's head to House Husky to the last time.
So the last 3 picks before Alex's picks was the Grizzlies, Spurs, and the Hornets. Now, I was anticipating Alex to go for the Grizzlies, which left the Hornets and the Spurs, which would have worked quite nicely for me and Jordan, because those are both teams that we had. And I would have just taken the Spurs just so Jordan could have the Hornets. It would have been a nice ending. However,
Yeah,
Alex
right.
decided not to do that. Oh no, I'm just going to go for the team in the East. It's the easier path. Whatever. We're picking at the end of the day to win the playoffs, to win the chip. So I doubt anyone of the last 3 picks are going to do anything. Saying that, I'm just going to keep with the J. Cole theme. I'm John Moran, and I'm on my Grizzlies, so I'm going for the Memphis Grizzlies. We watched them yesterday against the Warriors. Although the scoreline didn't suggest, Memphis got really, really close, and with the size they have with Valanciunas and Jaren Jackson being back as well, and hopefully giving the Grizzlies a bit of a boost, who knows what they can do. The only annoying thing is that I've got 2 teams in the West that are in the play-in tournament, but apart from that, we're all good.
So we head to the final pick, George, which is locked in. I guess you could call it your very own New York's regular season pick, which was locked into Ed. George, tell us who you will be taking.
For my final pick, I will be taking the San Antonio Spurs, my friends. I should have just said another random team. That would have been great.
Go on, Tigers.
Rwanda.
The Richmond Oilers. I landed with them. My hand's been forced on this. But hey ho, you never know. Like we saw in the regular season, a lot of the teams which we were forced upon us actually did quite well. For example, the Hornets and of course Ed's Knicks. So fingers crossed, hopefully this will be a surprise for us at House of 03. They might start to become dead-eye shooters in the playoff run. Currently sitting like 27th, 29th, I think, in the league table. So who knows?
That's it, guys. We've managed to successfully complete the six-man draft, the playoff draft. So first of all, round of applause. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. So obviously this wraps up. So I'm just going to take you through the teams right now. So we've got House Lasku. He's got the Lakers, the Bucks, the Blazers, and the Grizzlies. Jord has got the Nets, Knicks, the Warriors, the Spurs. Wildy has got Philly, Phoenix, and the Wizards. Matt has got Clippers, Heat, and the Celtics. Bray has the Jazz, Hawks, and Pacers. And I have the Nuggets, the Mavs, and the Hornets. So that wraps it up. I think this should really be an open forum to how we're feeling about, who was number one on the board, biggest shocks. Just any thoughts, any initial thoughts?
I mean, the Knicks is the roguest pick going.
Hey, I did it in the regular season. I'm doing it again in the post, baby. I never failed to surprise.
Don't worry, George. Bray is the one who should be commenting on rogue picks. Yeah, he's the expert, which is why he commented.
I'm generally not firing shots. I had both the Bucks and the Suns ahead of the Nuggets. I'm surprised you took the Nuggets with the sixth pick.
Yeah, I did as well.
I don't see the Bucks knocking off the Nets. I feel like it would just be a wasted pick. And with the Suns, because we don't know, I'm pretty sure the Lakers are going to be playing them. That is such a tough matchup for them.
It's horrible.
They're going to have to basically play perfectly in order to beat them.
100%.
That's why I got turned off of them last minute out there, and then I was like,
by the way, can we just say this? All the Phoenix fans are watching this. I'm not hating on Phoenix. I want you to do really well. I just can't bet against LeBron. I just can't do it, man.
Oh, you got two of your teams there. You got your two best teams. Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, like I was literally, when you asked me my thoughts on the whole thing, if you'd have told me I was going to get Philly and Phoenix, I'd say, hey, I'll take it. Even with that tough potential first round matchup, because we need to see how the playing games go. I couldn't be happier, man. And then in my last pick, I end up with Westbrook, Beal.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm very happy with what I come out with. A lot of good picks. I can't remember exactly how it felt, because you get to this point, it all feels like a bit of a blur. But I thought there was a point where I might have been able to get Milwaukee, and I really feel like with them, that's such a good pick, because one of the reasons why Miami Azoda beat them last year was that they actually had like a lot of older guys, and their rotation on defense was so slow. That's what allowed the young guards of Miami to score on them so well, and eventually knocked them out. Obviously, it did help that Giannis went out halfway through the series, but the only game that Milwaukee won was when Giannis went out and Middleton went crazy.
Yeah.
But look at their roster now; they're way younger. Their defense is way better just because they have much younger legs to run after all these guys. So Milwaukee's kind of like the Clippers of the East. It's like, we thought there was going to be this big thing in the conference finals for the see what would happen in the NBA finals, and then we got disappointed. So people have really been off then. But like, watch out, man. Watch out. Greek Freak, killer.
And
Feeling about the Blazers.
What's that?
I asked Ed how he's feeling about the Blazers.
Why do you want me to talk about your girl like that? You're just saying, oh, what do you think of my friend here? Like, no, what do you want
No,
me to...
I'm just generally thinking,
You didn't sound too happy as well. What do you think about the Blazers, man?
Because I
like
should
it's
have them.
over.
That's why. That's why.
I was just hoping the Knicks would. I was hoping the Knicks would fall to me when I was making the Bucks pick. I was hoping the Knicks would fall to me because I reckoned you guys were going to underrate them. But again, I really love their pace they play at and their defense they're at, and they do have some star power. I've mentioned their weaknesses before, but I just felt for the third pick, I was like, you know what, let's just go for something fun that would be cool to root for. I just reckon it'll be fun to root for Portland.
It always is, man.
And with the,
Always is.
I just thought it would be a fun thing to do. Like maybe I could have gone for Washington instead, or maybe the Wizards, not Wizards, the Warriors. But you know, I thought let's go with Portland. I don't like their pace. They play at a really fast pace, which doesn't help with the playoffs. And part of the reason why they got smacked up by the Lakers because they don't have size. Something we've spoken about before. Nurkic not being where he wanted him to be. Maybe that's because of the injuries from last year. That is a big worry, their size. But
in some sick and twisted way, I'm just hoping to see Ed's reaction in some end of day scenario where the Spurs defeat the Grizzlies, the Warriors defeat the Lakers, and then the Spurs, in some miraculous case, beat the Lakers, and Ed loses 2 of his picks in the play-in.
Yeah, fuck you, Matt.
Incredible.
What I want to finish on here is for somebody to just give me one word on who they think is going to win the NBA title. This obviously isn't based on who you picked because you had a certain order. You basically get what you're given. So let's go around the room.
Lakers.
Going Lakers. All right.
Yeah.
Lakers.
Who else we got?
Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and then Wildy.
Lakers.
Can't give you one word, Alex. But I can give you 2 numbers. 76ers, baby. Woo!
Bro, this is the year. This is the fucking year. I'm going with Sixers. This is the fucking year. All right.
This will lead
our
nicely
chance.
to a Lakers Sixers final. That would be super good, super fun. For
This is our chance. Let Milwaukee and Brooklyn battle it out for 7 games, triple overtime, all that stuff,
100%.
and we'll meet them. We'll meet them in the Eastern Finals.
Alex, please don't jinx this. Honestly, I don't want to see like a LeBron pose picture printed out on T-shirts or anything like that.
Listen, man, look, they've only got themselves to blame if they fail at this. If they don't get past the Knicks and the Hawks, they'll be real. All right, but yeah, cool. Thank you, everybody. What we're going to do now as a team is we are going to be very reactive to the playoff games. People are going to be jumping on when games happen. We're going to be releasing content, hopefully picking out the best and worst moments of the playoffs, reacting to teams dropping out. Let's see who loses all their teams first. It could be anybody, you never know. Obviously, Jord and Ed are sitting pretty because they have more teams. But yeah, man, thank you, everybody. This has been a great experience, something that we've all been looking forward to. And playoff basketball, baby.
This is business end of the season. Yes, this is going to be super fun.
Yeah. All right, so from the Sick Man, myself, and all the other GMs, it is over and out.
Thank you, 6-man family.
Peace, y'all.
You're the real MVP.